Are you sick and tired of coming over the top, hitting this nasty, weak slice that doesn't go anywhere? Seems like you should be hitting the ball 20 to 30 yards further. The ball balloons up in the air and you just can't score well because you're not hitting the ball far enough and it's not moving the right shot shape. You want to hit a draw, but you don't know how to get there. You seem lost. You've tried things and it seems just to get worse. Maybe it gets better for a day or two, but you don't see any long-lasting results. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you two things that you can do to get rid of your over the top. One is a swing change that I would say probably 90% of my clients fall into that are over the top that can really help you. And then the other one is using a training aid that anybody has, it's an alignment rod, on how to train the in to out motion and get rid of that over the top motion forever. You'll never end up being over the top again, but you just need to know two things. Let's discuss. Welcome to episode 5 of the Wade Fullingham Golf Show. I'm your host, Wade Fullingham, and I'm here to teach you unmatched strategies to lower your scores and enjoy the game more. Before we dive into the video, I want to ask you, do you seem to have rounds where you're so close to breaking that level 90, 80, maybe it's even 100? You're so close, but there seems to just be a couple of things that are causing all your problems. Or it may just seem like there's a couple of holes that add up to your whole bad score. That if you just fix those 3 holes or 4 holes, you would shoot so much better. Well, I want to offer you something free. It's my post-round interview checklist. This checklist will walk you through, it's more of a mental exercise. It's a checklist, but it's a mental exercise that walks you through each hole that you had a double or worse, maybe it's a bogey or worse, depending on, this works for every skill level, depending on what skill level you're at, and it helps walk you through what's actually happening in your round so that when you go to practice next time, your practice is more dedicated, you know exactly what to work on, because this checklist reveals why you're having these 3 or 4 holes that are jacking up your scores. It's going to walk you completely through that. It's going to show you how to fix those. It is by far one of the most powerful tools I use with all my clients, and they love it because it helps them truly see why they keep having these 2 or 3 blow-up holes and how to actually fix it. So if you want that, it's in the description below. Go ahead and snag that. You're going to love it. Let's continue. So getting rid of over the top, I have 2 main things that I want to discuss that generally fits everybody because everybody's a little different, but these 2 things are the 2 problems I see the most in my clients. Number 1 is not enough depth with their hands in the backswing. So let me describe what that means. So let me switch to my down the line camera here. So what I mean by depth is where are the hands in the backswing? Are they out here in front of us or are they deeper behind us? It just depends on what kind of player you are. Now most players though cannot shallow the club very well with their hands being too far in front of them, not having deep hands. So a better matchup for most of my clients that are over the top is to get their hands deeper because I typically don't see a big enough turn. So when we get stiff and we don't practice a lot, we tend to just pick the hands up instead of actually making a big turn and getting the hands deeper. So what I like to do is if you take another golf club and you set it on the ground, set a club on your back heel right here, and what you want to do is you want to make a turn, a bigger hip turn, a bigger shoulder turn, and feel like you get the hands deeper and feel like they're going to sit over the top of that line or behind that. That way, when you come on the downswing, you have room to swing towards first base. So if second base is your target, third base is left, first base is to the right, you actually have room to swing to the right. But if you pick your hands up and then you don't do something to shallow it on the downswing, then you're going to come straight up over the top. So I think a good matchup for most players is to check the depth of your hands in the backswing. So when you take the club back, get those hands nice and deep back here. So a little bit bigger hip turn, a little bit bigger shoulder turn. Feel like those hands get a little bit deeper. That's going to give you more room to swing into out. Because here's what I see mostly. A lot of players get up here, they pick up their hands, and then they come straight over the top like that. Okay? Or they get up here and they get the hands and they try to shallow it, but they still end up being over the top and then end up pulling it. So the better option is to make a bigger turn and feel like you get those hands nice and deep so that you have room to swing more into out. So here we go. Here. That was actually gonna be a nice little draw there. That actually allowed me to swing to the right and be able to turn the ball over. Now the second thing is using a training aid, an alignment rod, something to help you feel like you're swinging more towards the right. So what I'm gonna use is, I have this little pull needle in this, it's called the plane stick. I've had this since I was, goodness gracious, I don't even know how old I got this. I was probably 10 when I got this. So I've had it for a long time. Is what you can do now, let me switch angles here, is now you can look at the down the line view. So what I'm doing is I'm putting this right here to encourage me to, after I make that deeper backswing, that I come back down this line right here and swing to the right. Because if I pick up my hands, I might hit it, but then if I pick it up and then I come this way, you're gonna see that I'm gonna be straight up over the top. So let me hit a couple shots here so you can see this. So we're gonna go here, and then we're gonna come straight back from the inside. Big turn, and then down, okay? Probably a little bit exaggerated for me. Definitely making sure I was trying to avoid that. Big turn, get the hands nice and deep, all the way through. That's gonna make a big difference when it comes to getting rid of that over the top. Making sure you get the hands deep enough, and then making sure that you're coming back down that slot by using some kind of aid like an alignment rod. Just stick it in the ground. If at home, you can probably jerry rig something to simulate this, but that's really gonna help fix that over the top pattern. That's one of the main reasons why you're slicing it. The biggest reason is your club face. We'll talk about that in another slice video. But first you gotta fix that path, because you can't stop the slice, because you can't square the face up as long as you're swinging too far left. Give those two things a shot. That's really gonna make a difference in your ability to get ready for your slice.